The cutting down of the dreaded Iraco tree in the Frabianco kingdom in the heart of the verdant valleys of Frabianco, a village thrived, cradled by rolling hills and the whispers of ancient tales. The villagers led simple lives, farming the fertile land and nurturing livestock. They shared laughter and rituals, celebrating the rhythm of the seasons, yet above them the Iraco tree, a grand sentinel presiding over their existence. Towering and majestic, the Iraco reached toward the heavens, its gnarled branches stretching wide like the arms of a protective mother. As far back as memory could reach, the Iraco tree was sacred. It served as an altar to the goddess of the village, Frabianco. Generations of villagers believed that the spirit of the goddess resided within its massive trunk, watching over them with benevolent eyes. They often recalled stories whispered among the elders, tales of the power held within the bark, the cries that echoed through the night, and the apparitions of their forefathers emerging from the hollow-out parts of the tree. At twilight, the elders would say, their voices gravelly with the weight of age, "If you listen closely, you can hear the cries of our ancestors, guiding and protecting us from beyond the veil." These words resonated with the villagers, captivating their imaginations and weaving deeper into the fabric of their culture. Yet, a shift began to stir in the village. A sense of urgency colored the air like dark clouds before a storm. The waters of the river that flowed through the village had begun to recede, and the fertile fields were no longer bountiful. Crops withered, and the livestock became restless. The once harmonious dance of life began to fall into disarray, and the villagers looked for someone to blame. Among them was a young man named Frabiaco. He was clever and full of dreams, but often overlooked by the elders due to his youthful exuberance. Frabiaco loved the stories of the Iraco tree, but more than that, he aspired to solve the problems that burdened his village. Each night, he watched the shadows flicker around the base of the tree, hoping to catch a glimpse of what the elders claimed were the apparitions of their ancestors. One fateful evening, as the moon hung low in the sky, Frabiaco gathered a few friends: Aya, a bold and spirited girl, and Kofi, a quiet thinker with a talent for crafting tools. They approached the Iraco tree, its branches caressing the sky, while the wind whispered secrets among the leaves. "Do you hear them?" Frabiaco asked, glancing at his friends. "The cries? They sound so sad." Ada nodded, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "Perhaps the ancestors are trying to tell us something. We need to understand why our fortunes have turned." Kofi frowned thoughtfully. "But what if they do not wish for us to question them? The goddess Frabianco might be angry. After all, this tree is sacred. I believe we must act," Frabiaco declared, the fire of conviction burning in his chest. "If the cries grow louder, perhaps the tree is not the solution, but the cause of our troubles. What if we can find a way to appease the spirit of the tree, to understand its purpose in our lives?" Fueled by desperation, the trio devised a plan to gather the villagers for a special meeting. They spoke fervently, urging their fellow villagers to come together under the light of a full moon to discuss the future of Frabianco. The air crackled with electricity as concerns about the Iraco tree spread through hushed conversations. As the moon rose high, casting its silvery light over the clearing, the villagers gathered, their faces a mix of curiosity and fear. Frabiaco stood before them, heart racing with the weight of responsibility. "Friends, neighbors, we must confront our fears. We must understand the truth behind the Iraco tree. We cannot afford to remain idle while the spirit of our village fades. What do you propose?" A voice called out from the crowd. It was Alyamide, the village chief, his beard as gray as a stormy sky. "Propose we cut down the Iraco tree," Frabiaco declared, causing a ripple of gasps to resonate through the crowd. "We do not know if it is the cause of our struggles, but we must explore every possibility. But the tree is sacred." An elderly woman interjected, her hands shaking. "It has protected us for generations. Perhaps it is time to redefine our understanding of what protection means." Chijiok countered, every night our ancestors weep in sorrow. The spirit may be trapped within its bark, longing for freedom just as we long for prosperity. We must seek a new relationship with the land. A murmur of discontent washed through the crowd, but Kofi raised his hands to quiet them. Let us not act out of anger. Instead, let us consult with the village's sea Rama Ifium. If anyone can interpret the will of the goddess, it is her. The crowd reluctantly agreed, and the following day, Chijiok, Ada, and Kofi met. In the days that followed, the village transformed. Chijiok, Ada, and Kofi inspired the villagers to take action. They began to till the land with care, planting seeds that promised bountiful fruits and vegetables. Each week, they held gatherings beneath the Irako, offering thanks to the goddess Frabianco for her wisdom. The crops flourished, colors coming to life with vigor. The livestock thrived anew. The village came alive with laughter and gratitude as abundance returned to Frabianco. The elders' faces would break into smiles when they recounted how the goddess had appeared to guide them. And as dusk settled each night, whispers around the Irako tree echoed the tales of ancestors, but they transformed into songs of joy and unity, blending the past and the present like a delicate tapestry. Months passed, and the Irako tree became a gathering place of love and memories, where children played in its shade, and the villagers shared wisdom and laughter. The past was honored, but what remained unfolded before them a future they could shape together. In the heart of Frabianco, the sacred Irako tree stood tall, no longer just an altar to the goddess, but a living embodiment of their unity, commitment to the land, and the lessons imparted by the reverence for life itself. Thus, the Irako tree thrived, never to be feared again, as the cries of ancestors transformed into songs that echoed through the ages. And under the embrace of the stars, Frabianco thrived as a luminous testament to the balance of life, woven through love, respect, and the eternal bond between earth and spirit. As generations flourished, the tales of the Irako tree would continue to nourish the hearts of those yet to come, a legacy of wisdom to savor and share. Through one small decision, reverence rather than fear, the villagers learned that the power to create a better future lay within their hands, teaching them always to look to the past for strength as they moved forward into the unknown. Subscribe to watch the outcome.